All right, we're going to continue with the Albertville Aggies this morning, and Coach Chip English. And Coach, if you either introduce the players or let them introduce themselves, and some opening comments from you about this year's Albertville Aggie team.
Yeah, I'll let them introduce themselves, and then I'll say a couple things.
Tobin Plunkett, senior.
Isaac Henderson, senior.
Colton Bagwell, senior.
Yeah, so really excited about this year. I brought 3 defensive guys here today just because I really feel like that's going to be one of the biggest improvements of our team this year. So really excited about what they're doing, and really the work that they put in this summer they're gonna reap the benefits from that. And so we're moving on along. We're excited about our schedule. We play a fall jamboree on the 12th against Oak Mountain, so we kind of really get tested at that point. But we feel like we're going to probably see the best team on our schedule in our jamboree. And so I think that's going to have some benefits for us, kind of see where we are, and improve to week 0 when ARAB comes to us.
Coach, 2-part question. The number of kids in your program this year, and also the number of starters, offensive, defense, coming back for the Aggies this year.
Yeah, so number of players in our program, 9 through 12, we are right around 80. So our numbers are actually low, but the guys that we have, I feel really good about, and that's the exciting part. I think football in general right now is a very tough sport, and unfortunately, some guys don't want to really work hard, and I don't think that's just a Albertville thing. I think that's a football in general thing. So, but really excited about the 80 that we have and the work that they've put in. Returners, we're going to have offensively, we have probably right at 6 returning starters. Defensively, we're looking about the same number, about 6 returning starters. And while we are going to put some returning starters on the field and some guys that have experience, we're also going to put some young guys on the field too. And we feel really good about those young guys. And they're going to learn and develop, as fast as we can possibly put them through that process. And they might play some JV games early to get those reps, but also play on Friday nights to be able to earn their spot and contribute.
Coach, you've been there, 2 years now?
I'm going into my 2nd year. Yes.
Going into the 2nd year?
Yes,
okay.
sir.
How far have you come since when you left Grissom and came to Albertville? How far has the Albertville program come in that 1 year?
They've come a long way. I've done this a couple times in regards to taking over a program and watching it grow, and we're definitely on track here at Albertville. Year 2 is going to look better than year 1, and that's going to look in a lot of different ways. And how we, I tell my team all the time, each team has a recipe for success, and it's a different recipe, and ours is going to look different than everybody else's. But it's ours, and we're going to take ownership of that. And our progression is there. Key spots for us, defensive end with Colton Bagwell. He's going to do big things this year. And the progression that he made from last year to this year is one of the largest on the team, really, honestly. And he's learning the position really, really inside and out. Extremely smart player, reading blocks, getting to the quarterback, also helping in the run game. So the trend that we're going, even yesterday, I said, guys, the trend's either going down or going up, and we're definitely on the way up. So I'm excited about that, and it's about the people that we have in place, not only as players, but the new staff, football staff that I was able to put together this offseason. Really excited about, and watching us grow each and every day. I told them, we're not all of a sudden gonna be just an excellent football team. It doesn't mean we can't get there, but we have to take the next step, and the faster our speed is going to be dependent upon how many people jump on board and give everything they got to the program. And we're seeing that, and that's why our momentum is moving pretty fast.
Coach, it's not only a numbers game, getting kids out of the hallways, getting them onto the field and on the team, but with the HSAA, it's a numbers game as well. And Albertville just a few years ago made that jump to 7A. Mm-hmm. You're not a stranger to it after your time at Grissom, and of course Grissom back on the schedule, being in the region and all of that. But Albertville has been used to playing 5 and 6A ball. 7A is a totally different animal. What have you seen going into your 2nd year, to piggyback off of what you just said about the next step? What is the next step? How do you take that next step to make Albertville competitive in 7A? Because you're stuck there for this year and next year now.
Yeah, so, the year before I got here, in relative score numbers, last year we made a big jump. And I'm sure most of you have noticed the scores in the first half compared to the second half last year. I think it was 10-7 against Sparkman at halftime. I think like 13-7 against Florence at halftime. Bob Jones, midway through the second quarter, it was 21-21. James Clemens, it was a 7-point game at halftime. So the biggest progression that we're going to make this year is how do we compete in the second half? We found out how to compete in the first, but how can we do it in the second half? And the way we want to do about that is we want to grow our depth, grow our knowledge. You're going to see guys playing both sides of the ball, and that includes our bigger players. Isaac, you could see him over on the offensive side of the ball. Tillman, you could see him on the offensive ball. You could see Andy Howard on the defensive side of the ball. We're going to do whatever it takes to take the next progression, and really we have to focus on the second half. Not only as coaches, as like the halftime adjustments, but players too. And a lot of that comes in with our strength and conditioning coach. We hired Coach Gavin Halford from Jacksonville State. One of the biggest hires, I would argue, in the state, and what he provides to our program and how he's getting our guys ready physically. It will help with that problem. Will help with our deficit in the second half.
Coach, you a lot of pieces back on offense. Last year, I think we talked a little bit last week, that there were times where looking down at the sheet late in the season, I didn't know who some of the guys were, but them and Andy had big games late in the season. How have you seen those skill positions grow on offense to, extend drives or put more points on the board for you hopefully this coming year?
Well, obviously Andy's making progressions, and that's a very key position in the world of football. And really, when we have meetings, right, in our meeting room, I want them to think like me. So when I call a play, they can visualize and see what I see as far as calling plays. And he's progressed with that. Our whole quarterback room has. But really, it's the knowledge of the game. Okay, so for example, if our wide receiver, if I call a slant, it's not just a slant, right? Is the corner head up to me? Is he outside leverage? Is he inside leverage? Is going to dictate how I run that slant. So that's just a simple example. Those guys are learning the play within the play. And that progression is huge for us. And the more, like I said before, the more we get on board with that, the more we kind of have that, all 11 do that, either offensively or defensively, the more success we'll see. And offensively especially, we have Caleb Gant coming back at running back. He showed signs last year at times of being a really dynamic running back, and I think he'll do that this year. Cooper Colvin coming back. We're going to really move him around from outside receiver to inside receiver. Hayden Howard is on the other side. He's going to do some really good things for us. And really a young kid that's come along is Hunter Smith at our flex tight end position. We're moving him all over the field in order to get him open. He has incredible ball skills as far as going up and tracking the ball.
I want to ask the players, as we go into the 2022 season, guys, you were on the team last year. You've been through with the team this summer, working out, 7-on-7s, other things that you guys have done. Talk about, is the attitude different? Is the attitude changed? What do you feel like as you go into this season, the attitude on the team is in the 2022 season?
Yes, sir. We definitely hold each other more accountable this year. That was a pretty bad thing last year. We wasn't holding each other accountable, but this year we put in a whole lot of work in the summer, and all the people that we're counting on is there, and we're holding each other a whole lot more accountable this year.
Yeah, I feel like we definitely think we can win. I think last year we let down probably everybody in the county. They think, Albertville should win the county, and we believe we should win the county too. We also think we should compete in 7A, and I believe we think we can do that now. I think last year we were kind of iffy about it, but I don't think we are this year.
Yeah, I just think we got a winning mentality this year, like Tillman said. We won Grissom last year, and we walk into Boaz thinking that we're going to win, blow them out the waters, and that didn't happen, so we're not going to let that happen again this year.
Another question for you guys. All three seniors, Coach, all these
Yes,
guys
sir.
seniors. How do you feel that Coach asked you to represent your football team this year? How does that make you feel?
I'm honored, definitely honored. He could have picked anybody, and he picked us. I think that shows that I'm trying to be a leader, and let's see if I can keep that happening.
Yeah, Yeah, I most definitely feel great about it. You know, he could have brought out our starting quarterback like anybody else would, because that's your star, your face of your team. But I think him bringing out, especially us defensive guys, that's setting a standard that we want our defense to be the face of our team now. And I think it's a big thing for us to be the three guys up here for him.
Yeah, I'm definitely honored too. I mean, it just shows that we're all leaders and that we're getting it done on the defensive side.
Coach, speaking of your schedule, I don't think it's changed any. I think it's basically the same teams that you played last year. Is that, I guess, is that an advantage for you going into this year, that you're going to face those same teams and basically same coaches and same schemes in preparing for those teams?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's an advantage in regards to kind of being familiar with that team. The biggest change this year, Coach Sullivan and I moved our game with Boaz from week 5 to week 2. It allows us to have that open week in the middle of the season, and a lot of times you kind of need that physically, that week off, and kind of just to kind of regroup a little bit going into the second half of the season. But knowing your opponent's huge. But at the same time, each team is different. We're going to be a really different team this year than we were last year. We have a similar scheme, and football's football, but just the personnel, how you do certain things. The people in our league, Florence got a new coach. I know James Clemens got 2 different coordinators. So a lot has changed within our league. But yeah, and I've been in that league. This is going on my 6th year. Yeah, 6th year. So, I mean, I'm familiar with it, and the guys are starting to develop that familiarity too. So this will be their third year in it. So we're getting there, and each year's different, but kind of knowing the biggest thing might be is like playing in a stadium, right? The familiar surroundings and that sort of thing. And what I really preach to our guys and our coaching staff is I want to get on rhythm. I don't think anybody like the teacher in your school that gave you the pop quiz on a random Thursday, right? As football coaches, we don't want to do that, right? I don't want to confuse my guys, and so our practices are going to not be exactly the same, but our guys are going to know what to expect, and I really feel like our coaches are going to do a good job this year prepping that, and the more comfortable and the more prepared they feel, the more confident they are, and the more confident you are, the better you play. And that's kind of like my thought process. So we're going to go into each game doing that. And, we're going to watch a ton of film and break it down and see their top plays offensively and defensively. And, hopefully that, the playing somebody again goes both ways. You know what I mean? So we have to kind of reinvent ourselves so they can't, key in on certain things that we do. And they got to do the same thing or we'll do that. So, I'm excited about the season, excited about seeing all the same faces again. The season didn't necessarily go the way we wanted to this year. So I don't want to say revenge because it's a new season, but at the same time, we got something to prove in each and every game, and we want to go out and do that.
Thanks a lot, Coach. Thanks a lot, guys. Good luck to the Aggies this year. We appreciate you being here
Thanks
today.
for having us.